25th of March, on a Sunday. It's also the 25th anniversary since the forming of the Cougars, and we get the full day off today. So I slept in and got up about 9:30, which is real nice. I had a chance to sleep in after getting up at 5:30 this morning. And then went to church this morning and played the Protestant services and the Catholic service. We have a new Catholic priest, and I think probably the services in that class will be better than the other one. The faith is haven't celebrated today, I guess, to a degree by giving us a day off. And earlier they had a float that came around. I guess some city somewhere else has made it, possibly an NCD 58 or NCD 9. They're also here. I'm not sure which one made it, but they came by with their float. It was on a bed of one of their trucks, all jazzed up with boxes painted. And I took some pictures of it and sent them on to you. I've been enjoying your tapes a great deal. Here are two of me now. I've got two from you since I sent one to you. Feel like I'm falling behind here. But I've taken a few notes on your tape that you sent, and comments or replies to what you asked. Very interesting and good to hear that y'all are having good luck with these fish bags. Stephen's been able to sell them in Huntsville. It provides some revenue and possibly catch on and you're a growing thing. Even though they're rubber busy. Anyway. Glad to hear that you got your direct line to Houston from Bowling. That will, I'm sure, if nothing else, assist you in calling and be able to dial direct. You don't have to make long distance call and wait for them to make the contact with anybody. Then more people will be inclined to call you knowing they don't have to pay a long distance phone call bill. Yes, I remember going to Cat's shop, but glad to hear he's doing well, and good to know that he remembered me. And it's getting noticed you said that y'all are re-recording my tapes onto the Ampex. That's a real smart idea. Being able to put all the little reels on one big one. That way you can reuse the small ones. The supply over here may run out. It's temporarily out right now, but it's supposed to get some more in shortly. I have this tape and one other to use, so you can see about by the time I run out, they'll have some more in. I have been receiving the reporter. Thank you very much for sending it. It's interesting to read back, and I don't know too many people in there, but to see what's going on in the community. I saw where the Second Baptist Church has got their main sanctuary started, which is real good. I was wondering why they hadn't built that thing a long time ago, because the building looks so incomplete now without it. And I've been enjoying the little cartoons you've been sending out of the Post. We have a boy here in our company who's real good at cartooning. He draws up occasionally something that's happened around the shop, draws it up in a cartoon. He's asked about whether or not to send the cookies airmail. Well, if you send them partial post or first class, they will come airmail, space available mail, they call it, SAM. It is under 5 pounds per package. So it'd be just as fast to send it first class or partial, space available. So it'd have to be under 5 pounds. You asked if I knew anybody from Houston in MTB4. No, there's all people that I met since I went to Wyoming. And no one from even interesting area. I think there's a couple guys from Texas, but that's about all. I just got another letter from you all today, and you mentioned some concern about my safety here in DaNang. It's true that the DaNang did fire rockets on the air base here. This happened at night, somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, just about a mile from us. And everybody else woke up and heard it, but I didn't hear it. Slept right through it. It wasn't that loud, I guess. But there were several large fires down in that area. Friday, a couple Marines that are down there brought up one of the rockets they found on reconnaissance back into one of the little villages where they found the launchers. They went down there with tanks and a battalion of Marines and cleaned out the little village and found some dead rockets in their launchers. They brought one of these rockets here in the shop to be taken apart. They had some large tools here. They could unscrew it. Had 2 sections. And it was quite interesting to see that. It was Russian made. I didn't realize what was going on at the time. I already got some pictures of it. By the time I got out there, they were fixing to load it back up. It was about 4 foot long and about 7 and 8 inches in diameter. Not a pretty thing, but it was interesting to see it. We've been fairly busy this past week here in the shop area. There's a lot of banging and going on. They're building some things to go out here on the base. There's been discussion here in the office about moving the office out of the shop area, which I would like a great deal because it does get awful noisy. Hard to think. Besides talking about it, you have to scream. So let's see what happens. Mr. Patrick's thinking about it, and I guess you have to take it before the expo and get approval on that. Sonic Company and Delta Company are building a new office. No problem, I think. Just have some priority there. I mentioned before I was thinking about buying a new camera. I bought a new Super 8 movie camera. That means you can't film on your projector, but once the films come in, maybe you can borrow one from some of the neighbors, or else after you get a collection of them, rent a camera to show them. But I couldn't see buying a standard 8mm when all this other stuff is starting to be made for Super 8. Particularly I bought a good camera, and I hope they come out real well. It has a zoom lens on it. And I took a lot of pictures for base and some of the people, and when I went down to DaNang Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember when, I took some pictures down in that area. One of them was a big intersection. Looks like they need a spaghetti bowl there because there's about 6 streets come together, and you got to wait your turn. It seemed like you're never going to get through there. It's worse than some of the places in Houston. Stephen Stafford was asking for me if I could locate for them one of the small tape recorders to send it to them. I had bought 2 matching recorders, one for myself and one for Mom and Dad, and or for you all, that's who I'm talking to. Anyway, I sent one to you and kept one for myself. So when I got this Sony, I no longer need the small recording here, so I sold it to another fella for the price I got out of it, or put into it, and I'm using the Sony now to make my tapes on. It will play on either one, the small one or the MPEG. But if I was thinking, or else if it asked earlier, I could have sent that one to you. There may be some difficulty in finding one just like that. But I will do my best to find one if I can. Or one like it to a degree it will still work for a purpose. And then I'll get that on the way as soon as I locate it. But right now I'm I'm using the speaker of my little portable radio as a microphone, plugging that into the impact instead of a microphone. So I get some more money, I'll buy a small mic to use on this towing. Got me a rat trap the other day, and I caught 2 large rats here in the office. I got tired of coming in every day and finding little rat tracks and droppings in my drawer of my desk, and I decided to do something about that. Probably get one every day. I've had the trapping in 2 days and got one each day. And there's a lot of them around here. You can see them at night if you happen to sneak up on them. They're from big sizes of big mice all the way up to, I guess, probably a foot long. Just like, I don't mean sounding like they're that big, but they're pretty good size. And you take them over and they burn them in the morning. Today we had brunch and fresh milk, which is a rarity naturally. First time we've had fresh milk since we've been here. And I guess they figured to celebrate on the 25th anniversary, so they flew in or somehow got fresh milk here, pints, paper cartons. And brunch was served from 7 until 11 o'clock today. And then we're having steak tonight for supper from 4:30 on, which ought to be pretty good. They have steak usually every Sunday evening. Something to look forward to there. I'm real glad that y'all are so happy with the little recorder. It does provide a lot of flexibility in being able to take it wherever you like. And even ride in the car on the way to bowling and back, you can say a few words, something should happen to come to your mind. And it stores easily, you can get it out of the way and hold it in your lap while you're using it. It's been, as when I was in the States, you see pictures of Vietnam, and you can see the mountains look like they're a real gray day, foggy, or a lot of mist in the air. Well, this is one of those days. It's real overcast, and the mountains are hid in the mist of the day. You can see it floating in, and it's like feathers over some of the mountains. It's rather beautiful in many respects. But it makes me sleepy, I guess. So like Houston weather, right now it's hot and damp. I've got a light bulb, a 150 watt light bulb in my locker to help keep it dry and to keep the clothes from mildewing. This is not authorized practice, but do what you can get away with, I guess. But it's better than having the clothes to rot, which they probably would do in 9 months. Particularly my dress blues. I won't be wearing those while I'm here, but still have to have them with me. And they would probably mildew if I didn't keep it hot in there, evaporate the water. It's one of my duties to write every week, and I'm getting tired of it, is the article for the base maker. They won't allow you too much variety in writing. You have to write nothing. I mean, it's pretty standard. Somebody in his group went out and fixed something or built something. I'm getting a little bored and just putting all this kind of stuff down. I tried to put some interest into the article or variety, and it wasn't printed because it has to pertain to what the company's doing. Of course, it's probably interesting for the families back home to read the article knowing what's going on, but we're living with the problem over here. We know what everybody's doing. It's kind of hard to write about it. But that is one of my tasks every week, and I'll be turning them to you every week as they come out, because I know that there's a lot of information in those things that I don't write about or don't think about the writing about or taking. That will be interesting to you all. I'm sure a lot of other companies are doing things of interest. I tried to kind of spruce up the office this week. I went over to the supply and got a can of spray paint and come back and spray painted some of the chairs and the desk. They were pretty rusted and scratched looking, so I painted them gray. Yeah, it looks a little better to have everything the same color anyway. There's been some talk about repainting the office if we decide not to move, which would help. And the air conditioner is out now, and they're trying to get another one. It's not too hot yet. It's been kind of cloudy here lately. But I'm sure later on it'll be warm enough and we'll be glad to have an air conditioner. The thing is, Steve is pretty good, as I mentioned before, in ComSol, so he'll come up with something there before too long. Got a letter this week from May Spencer, and they're all doing all right. Enjoy getting letters from them, but from the people up north. It also means I have to write each one of them. And of course, I guess I shouldn't begrudge that. But I don't have time to sit down and write everybody. So maybe I'll send them one of these carbon copy letters like they send to y'all sometimes. I sent Bob and Doll a letter, and I got one started to Grandma and Grandpa, but I haven't finished it. I'll have to do that because I wrote across the top with general publications because they want to pass it around, which I know they will. So I would put on the unclassified so they can let everybody read it. I'm in the office and looking out the window over to the galley, which is right across the street from the office. And I can see the smoke coming out of the chimneys or out of the barbecue pits where they're barbecuing the steaks. So I guess it won't be long. I'll be going over there and chow down on some of that stuff. It starts to smell pretty good around here about this time. And it doesn't take long to whet an appetite to go over there. The steaks, I'll see I've run out of tape, so I guess I better close. Goodbye.
This is a tape received March 6th.
It's been a rather beautiful day. It's been sunshiny all day long. And I've been fairly busy today. I spent most of the afternoon over in Delta Company office. They have a real nice drafting table and parallel bar set up there. And I went over there to use their equipment. Our office is not quite up to date with the newest and latest modern conveniences. But Delta Company just finished building a new office facility. And they have a nice, large drafting table there. So I went over there to draw some of the military organization charts or posters to put in the office here that have the platoon formations on them, along with the important information on each man listed by the side of his name. These two boards I'm doing is 30 inches by 40 inches. I've been working on them for about 2 days and possibly have one more day's work on it to finish them up. I guess a total of probably 24, 25 hours work spread over a period of 3 days, or 4 days. That's about the most interesting thing I've done lately. The office routine is getting down pat, so to speak. There's not too much to do during the day after I turn in my time reports for everyone in the company. I keep track of all the time of the different crews that are working on different projects. Each project has a project number, and then there's 4 and 5 man crews working on these projects, and working 10 to 12 hours a day. And I keep track of that and turn it into operations every morning by 9 o'clock without fail. I've been late sometimes, but usually have it in before 9. They have to make a battalion report and get it organized and turned in by the end of the week. And then they have a monthly report also. Made a few notes on your last tape that you made. I'll try to cover that information now. And maybe I'll get something more original in a few minutes. I enjoyed very much the church services that you took time to record. And I'm glad to hear that Brother Taylor is still with the church after 18 years, which is, I think, remarkable in a Southern Baptist tradition. It seems like Second Baptist Church changes every 10 years or so. And I guess it's quite noteworthy of Brother Taylor to have been in my church that long. And you should be very proud of that. I noticed a considerable improvement in the church choir. It seems like the selection of music is improving and becoming very professional, sounding anyway. I was quite surprised also to hear that Jerry was home again. It seems to me that he will possibly use up all of his leave time in the first year. I believe it's the same amount of time for drafted personnel as it is for enlisted personnel. It's only going to be 30 days a year. And you can have all your leave up. You can take all the leave that you have covered for the amount of time you have in the service. So if he's in 2 years, he can take 60 days all at once, I guess, if he had to. And then he would be granted no further leave, except in the case of an emergency. I'm glad to hear Jerry's still in Washington, but I'm surprised he will be there until April. It must be quite a long school he's going to. Seems like an unusually long school for a two-year draft. The old hangout with Howard Johnson sounded like it was a nice lunch after church Sunday. Wouldn't mind going there for some of those French fried clams that he's his favorite there. You mentioned the next time you send cookies to give you an idea, Mother, what to bake. I would like to have some oatmeal cookies. They would probably stay fresh longer too, but I won't have to eat them all up in the same week. Which I'm pretty good about doing that. But to spread them out a little bit more, knowing that they would stay fresher longer. I'd mentioned before about Senior T. Sullivan and his Louisiana coffee. Well, this thing is propagated into something even bigger now. We have 2 coffee pots. One is to make regular American coffee, and the other is to make Cajun coffee. I occasionally try to drink some Cajun coffee with him. It's pretty good for a change, but you do have to get back to the other. It's not good to eat with anything, or drink when you're eating with something. Occasionally somebody will bring in some sweet rolls that were left over from breakfast, and we have those with coffee in the morning. I mentioned that I was in the duty section watch one night, and you were asking exactly what was that, or what I was doing. Sometimes I have what they call a messenger's watch. I go up to the Master Arms office, and that night I took coffee out to the bunkers, which is on the perimeter of the base here at the fence line. They have bunkers that watch the perimeter. And in the dark of the night, I carried coffee out there. And on the other watch is a roving patrol, which is in between the barracks here to make sure there's no fires or any disturbance, like some of the guys getting drunk and coming in late and waking everybody up. The clubs do close at 9 o'clock, but some of them do a lot of drinking between opening and closing time, and they get rather drunk. And they have trouble getting back to the barracks. Some of them don't even make it back to the barracks. But, the duty section is every 4 days while we're in country. I'm in Section 3 and had duty on Saturday, which was yesterday, and I'll have it again on next Tuesday. The fresh strawberries that you were eating while you were talking to me sounded real good. We've had some frozen Boston berries, I think it was, since we've been here. They were real good. I think I mentioned to you the details of the bombing that is going on here. The slides that I sent to you, if you will look at those again, the valley that seemed to be away from the base there, and then the row of trees and houses that you see, or just on the other side of that, about, I guess, a half a mile is where the airstrip is, and that's where the shelling took place. As I said, I didn't hear it. Most everybody woke up. I guess I was a sound sleeper around 3 o'clock in the morning. But I informed everybody in my hut to wake me up for this fight the next time anyway. I didn't realize it was rodeo time again in Houston. I would have liked to have seen the first performance in the Dome Stadium. I'm sure that must have been a very exciting and interesting experience. Mainly just to see how they use the space. It was such a cramped facility in the Coliseum, and it was interesting to see the vastness of that space with the bronc riding and the bull fighting and all this. I'm sorry, Sanford, that you didn't get to go see the animals. They're all animals. I mean, they're no different than the rest of the time, but it's good to see the winners and the progress in the stock. Particularly if you understand stock and things, but I don't, so I kind of get lost when I look at those things. You also, Sam, you mentioned that the Eagle camp was fairly well developed and established. Well, it has been here quite a while. Now, how long, I don't know, possibly 3 or 4 years. But to see these being that builders will produce a rather nice camp, they don't build anything temporary, it's semi-temporary, almost semi-permanent when they finish. These strong backs that we live in, these huts, all built out of wood and covered with the roof of tin. And it has screen siding and swinging doors, and they're real nice, really, for where we are. Some of the more remote camps are not quite as developed as this one, but they're in full force to get them developed. They don't waste any time in building up the camp, because being the ugly Americans we are, we have to have our luxuries with us. We build and we eat. Speaking of eating, we had charcoal steak this evening. You can't believe the war is going on sometimes around here. But you have such fine meals. We had charcoal steak, baked potato, broccoli. Sometimes dessert, I didn't have any of that. And nice tea and fresh hot rolls. Several selections of vegetables. Then occasionally you remember the war is going on when you hear some of the mortars going off early in the evening in a very far distance. And it's somewhat startling, I guess, to recall yourself to the fact that there is a war going on. It's also very interesting to hear, Sam, that you're in student teaching now, and lesson plan programming, I guess is probably the stage you're in, and keep up the good work there. It's good to hear that Mr. Norris is up and around again. He is a remarkable person as far as perseverance and willingness to try again. If everyone has the constitution that man had, or has, it would be a remarkable world. You mentioned about sending the money for my trip or my R&R to Tokyo, and I thought Mother was wanting to get some china. If you do want some china, Mother, that it would probably cost around $100 for a real nice set. And if you want me to get some, let me know. The weather in Houston sounds real nice. The off and on spring, winter sessions. It's a lovely time of the year when sort of in between. It's always a lurking suspicion of whether or not you're going to get up for winter or for spring. And it gives you an opportunity for variety. There's a family-gram pacemaker coming out this week or early next week. It will be sent to all the families in CD4. It's a rather, they say a nice copy. It's going to be finished paper and being taken to Okinawa to be printed and be mailed. It's supposed to be real good. Let me send to you. Mother you mentioned about the Wives Club. Well, I don't know. I didn't read that particular article. I guess they were talking about the Wives Club back in Fort Hueneme, because they're not any wives over here. The Red Cross, which is right outside the gate, it has a woman that manages it. And the other day I was in the office here, and she called up. I said, Bravo Company, real signature. And she said, hi. And I couldn't imagine what in the world. I could tell it was a feminine voice. It was a complete shock. I had no idea of any woman around. Well, I knew she was up there, but I forgot temporarily that she was there. And it just sort of floored me, the fact that she was calling, and then the way she said, hi, it was different. It was refreshing to a degree, I guess. Although I'm sure he gets pretty tired of always good morning, sir, and all that on the phone. Then it takes a very strong person. Well, I just broke the tape trying to rewind it, so this one will be a little bit shorter, I guess, than the rest of them. But that's the way it goes. Trying to operate too many things at one time, I guess. But I don't think it'll be that much difference. About 10 feet or so was lost. I sent to you, I believe it was Tuesday, 2 rolls of movie film, Super 8. And I sent them in mailers. They should be developed and forwarded to you. I had to send them all the way to Rochester, New York. That's the address that was on the envelope. It'll probably be a week and a half or 2 weeks before you get them, at least. I hope they're real good. By the way, we should make comments on how the films are. You mentioned that you got them and it was real good, but if you could make a comment on which pictures turned out, so if they didn't turn out, I can retake them. The same thing goes for the movie camera, the projection rose. And let me know how you like the zoom lens that I've got on the camera. If I use it too much, maybe I make you tired or wear you out moving in and out on subjects, which could be a possibility. Because it is fun to use. Sneak in on something and zoom away from it. It saves you from having to buy a telephoto lens because the full extension of the zoom is a telephoto effect. On the second film, showed the overall picture of the base from top of the hill, or not top of the hill, but back up on the hill from the camp here, which is still within the fence of the camp. Showing the camp and beyond was the airfield. You can see some airplanes taking off from it. Give you an idea of the relationships of the camp with the city of DaNang. The city of DaNang proper is just on the other side, or beyond the airfield from here. could set up something with one of the steel mills in Japan, that sounds tremendous. As soon as I can get some information on possibly a date, a tentative date within a couple of days of when I'll be going to Tokyo, I will forward information, because to have some contact there would be great. You can get some more information much faster and wouldn't get any bumps here. You know that they would need to help you. And then it would provide interest to maybe get to meet some people that otherwise you wouldn't meet. And I'm sure they'd be more than happy to do it. After all, we've entertained a lot of people for a long time. Maybe we get some of that back. It's good to hear that Morton Pipe is doing so well. I'm real happy about that. But I was wondering how your ulcer situation is. Hope it's much better. You don't happen to stay on a strict diet as you were on when I was home. And hope it's not bothering you. And hoping, Dad, that you're feeling better and your kidney problem is not giving you any trouble. I know Steve and Sanford must be doing okay. They sounded like they were enjoying themselves and having a good time in school. And I know they're anxious, or y'all, Steve and Sanford, are anxious to get out. I'm going to wait till I get to Japan to buy a graduation present for you and try to get something interesting from Japan that you wouldn't get in the States possibly, and send that to you from there. I've been up to the exchange and I haven't seen any more of the little recorders lately, but I'm sure they'll be getting more shipments of those in as time goes on. It is a stock item there. They move them pretty fast. There are a lot of new people coming in here all the time and bunches of them leaving, so it's hard to keep stock of those things. They're very popular. I've been regularly getting my monthly issues of Progressive Architecture, and I've been enjoying them a great deal. I was wondering if y'all could look in my room there and find the address for me out of the front pages of the AIA Journal, and send the address to me. I want to write those people and have them to renew my subscription, or find out why they haven't forwarded lately my subscription. So I want to start that magazine up again. It usually has some pretty good articles in them. Mentioned earlier about a small fan, and you'd come back on it for the proper name. Any kind of fan would be just fine, but the one I had in mind was, Stephen had one in school, and I used it for a while. His name was Dynamo or something like that. It was a good little fan. I don't want one that big, but it was a brand name. And it moves a lot of air for the sizes they come in. Well, it's 10 minutes past 9 o'clock on Sunday evening. It's kind of hard for me to fill up a full tape. I mean, y'all have 5 or 6 people around there to fill up one, and it doesn't take you long, but it seems like I can't think of that much to say at one particular time. I have been enjoying your tapes very much, and I'm sure you know what they mean to receive them. And I've got to get up now and go down back to the hut and get ready to take a shower and go to bed. I was up late last night working on those drawings, and want to start out tomorrow feeling pretty good, so I want to get some rest tonight. I want to try to go to bed before taps. I don't know whether I'll make it or not, but I'm going to try to. So I guess I'll ring off even though the tape isn't finished, and I'll try to get it in the mail. So y'all be real good, and we'll be thinking about you. itty-bitty organ. I have it now for my own use in the company office. The captain let me bring it down here where I can practice on Saturday nights before the services on Sunday. And so I thought I would put some of it on tape and send it to you, give you an idea of what it sounds like. It does sound better on tape than it does when I'm playing it. It seems to make a difference when it's played back through the speaker system, because you can adjust the volume and things of that sort. But in the chapel, it's a fairly large grass hut. I guess you've seen it in the pictures by now. And the sound doesn't carry very far. I wish it were better. In fact, they have been talking about putting a microphone on or next to the organ where it would pick up and broadcast a little better. So we'll have to see how that turns out whenever they get around to getting another mic. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday, and I'm going to play for the Protestant and Catholic services tomorrow. I'm going to also try tonight to call you on the phone. I tried this morning, hoping to get on the end of Dad's birthday. John had his birthday, but the static was up too much where I couldn't place a call. I could have, but it wouldn't have been worth our time because it's too much static. And tonight I'm going to try it again. It may be too much static then. We'll have to find out. But I've had a little trouble trying to decide what time it's going to be when I call you. I'm going to try to call at 12:15 here, midnight. And I think it's going to be around 10 o'clock a.m. Saturday. Back where you are. I have to see. But it's kind of confusing trying to figure out. I will agree with Mother on that. Trying to figure out the difference in time. I think this morning when I was going to call at 7 o'clock here, it would have been 2:30, 5:30 or something like that on Friday evening in Houston. I haven't been too busy this past week. I finally wound up the charts I was working on over this past week and have them framed in some beautiful mahogany frames, and have gotten part of the information that's supposed to go on there, men's names and their squad position, service numbers, rates, and the dates of getting out, the kind of weapons they carry, and the huts they live in, and a whole bunch of other information, the tests they've taken, military leadership qualification tests, all sorts of things. Be a real complete and up-to-date record on each man as he progresses during the year. I mentioned to you about the office being enlarged, and it's much better. You can get around, and it's a little more freedom in here. You don't feel so closed in. Everybody's looking over your shoulder all the time. It helps some. Tomorrow afternoon, we have a company party out at the China Beach, which is on the ocean side. It's supposed to be a beautiful white sandy beach. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to go out there and have barbecue steaks again, and swim and bum around and come back. I guess about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The party will start about 1:30. Catholic services will be over by then, and we'll all get out there and go. I tend to look forward to these parties quite a bit, I believe, because they're looking forward to this one. And it will provide a little rest and relaxation to get off base out into the beach side. They have all the parties for all these bases around here down there, and we are reserved the beach area a couple of weeks ago. So it takes some planning involved to get something like that scheduled. The senior chief arranged for the beach. I don't know what he traded for it, but he got it somehow from some Marine Corps unit. the movies were good. You mentioned in your last letter, Mother, that you'd received the movies. And I hope that you're able to have Becky over to see them. I know she will enjoy them as much as you all have or will whenever you get the chance to look at them. I plan to take a lot of movies tomorrow at the party, and then I'll be sending those to you. It'll be some new scenery to look at anyway. I am thinking now I'll probably, in fact, I'm going to go on R&R in May. Now, can't really say for sure when it's going to be because the flight quotas haven't come in as yet. What available reservations there will be. But I'm going to put in for the third week in May. So I guess, Dad, if you can write the people in Japan and tell them I will be there from the third week of May until the end of May. We'll start setting up something that way. I think by that time, we'll be halfway through the deployment, but it will sort of break the deployment in half. If I had a little getaway during that time. Got a letter from Bob and Doll this week, and then today, it's Saturday, I received a package of brownies, marshmallows, and popcorn, which is real good. And she packed the brownies and marshmallows, hoping to keep them from drying out. Got all this in Tupperware. I think the brownies would have been better just in the Tupperware without the marshmallows. I think the marshmallows dried the brownies out, keeping them moist yourself. Well, it was an experiment. You won't be right and tell how it came out anyway. I'll have to eat them. They're pretty good. Tonight for dinner we had fried chicken and can't remember what else. It was pretty good. And homemade bread. He'd asked about the butter. I believe it's from the States rather than from Japan or the Philippines. It's not from the locals here. It's pretty good butter. It comes in big pound blocks, I guess it is. And it's on that homemade bread, which is real good. We occasionally, not occasionally, yesterday and today we had ice cream, which they brought in from the Naval Air Station. All the food that we get is issued from the Naval Air Station to the Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps issues it to us. Roundabout way of getting it out here, but that's the way they do it. So paperwork, I guess. Probably, I don't know whether you can hear it in the background or not. They're working out in the shop tonight, doing some welding on some trucks and the generators for the welding machine to function in the background. Got a letter this week from Jerry, and he had a good time on his home. He apologized for not being able to come by the house and see the pictures and listen to the tape. But he was real busy, he said. He had a lot of family problems, How Jerry and his brothers get along. He said that everybody was so sweet when he came home that they never called trying to do a ride to her, or very seldom did he hear from them. But they all tried to make him think they were all real glad to see him, but had proven in the past that they weren't necessarily visiting him or glad to see him. So he was begrudged over that bit of experience while he was home. It was real quiet in the office here until this past 3 or 4 days, or 3 or 4 evenings. There's been a band that plays at the end from. They've been coming down here to the shop to practice. And I used to come down here to get away from it always. It seems like for the last week I moved right in on it. They just had a drummer and 2 guitars and a singer and a saxophone player and a whole bunch of other people out here kicking and stomping. They're enjoying themselves, and I'm enjoying it to a degree. The switch is spurred and silent. Tonight down at the club playing, raising a racket here. So they'll be back again down here probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and then back to the club on Saturday. They're doing quite well, considering these guys just selected out of the battalion and started to play. The drums belong to special services, and I believe these guys brought their own guitars and saxophones. enjoyed y'all's last tape very much. And Mother, I'm glad to hear that you were able to go to Baytown to see the Bishop's Castle. I know you enjoyed that. Remember when we studied Galveston in my fourth year design, I've got several photographs of the Bishop's Palace, and we made a study on that area. When we were trying to move all the old relics into one area to sort of create a Bourbon Street atmosphere, an old quarters area in Galveston. Steve and Sanford should have their tape recorder by now. I've sent it airmail. I don't remember when. Monday or Tuesday, somewhere in there. So they should be getting it, have it by now. I won't expect a tape from them real soon. There'll be no excuse now for them not sending the tape. I've enjoyed their letters and the tapes that they've made while they're at home. Enjoyed hearing that the singing cadets were at the church. That's great. Wish I'd have been there to hear them. I know that they were, as usual, they're outstanding. My zinnias are coming up, and they're just about 4 inches high now. They're looking real good. I'm going to have to transplant them before too long. They're going to outgrow that box. Looks like I'm running out of tape, so guess I better ring off for now. And I'll be expecting some tapes and letters from you. It'll be real good.